Tuesday and it's election day, and I hope that you are going to vote today. I had a special thing that I was able to do last night. I was going to stay home and learn a song that maybe you'll see a little bit later in the show by Ray Boltz, a thing called I Pledge Allegiance to the Lamb. And on this particular election day, and all those to come, I would hope, we would vote for someone who has godly qualities, somebody maybe that really trusts Jesus Christ. We have some godly men that are out there today waiting to find out if they're going to be the winner or the loser in these races, and I think if they're standing for Jesus Christ, they're already the winners. But let's hope that all of our Christian people, all of our brothers and sisters, will get out and vote for those kinds of people and change what we've got in the political system right now. And last night, I went over to Two Rivers Baptist Church for a special citywide prayer vigil that they had. There were 12 churches that I could see represented there, and many pastors from all over the city, all kinds of denominations. This was not just a Baptist event. This was a Christian event, believers all together, worshiping the Lord in song, praising, beautiful music, and then we had about an hour's worth of prayer for our city and for the elections for our nation. And today, before you go to the polls, and do go to the polls, please get on your knees and pray that you'll vote for the right people, that everyone will vote for the right people today. We're not going to tell you who those people are in our estimation, but we do ask you to consider where they stand, these people. Don't just vote for somebody because you saw their name on a sign. Vote for them because you know, and you know that they will hold the same values that you hold. All right, today on the show, I have a lady that we're gonna go away from the election thing today. I was going to have maybe somebody in here from the Christian Coalition or some politician or whatever and talk about these elections, but I don't think we wanted to do that today. We wanted to do something that was completely different because we are Christian people. We do love the Lord, and there are people on the front lines in the mission field that are out there upholding the name of Christ across the world. And one of those people was Barbara Robinson. And a friend of hers, Laverne Barton, is back from Israel to talk about what's going on in Israel and over in Lebanon. A lot of unrest. And yet in the middle of it is a peaceful lady named Barbara Robinson. And Laverne is here to talk about that and her trip. And we're going to go to one song. I want to do something just for the elections, and then we'll come back and talk with Laverne Barton. We need to make a voice in America. Oh, beautiful, for spacious skies, for rainbow waves of gray, and all those purple mountain majesties. America, God, shine His My guest this morning is Laverne Barton, for those of you that are just joining us on this election day, and she is a well-known area realtor, and she's the friend of a lady who went all the way to Lebanon to start a children's home and went through some tragedy, and I want to show you a picture here in a little while to show you what Christ can do to the face of a woman, even in the worst kinds of tragedy. And first I want you to meet, though, my good friend, Laverne Barton.
Morning.
How are you this morning?
Great.
You look so pretty.
Thank you.
Well, you're a joyful person in the midst of a lot of things, too, that you've been through. And you just got back from Israel?
Yes.
Yes, that was fun.
It was wonderful. It was full of surprises.
Yes.
There's a verse that says, the ways of the Lord are past finding out.
Past finding out. Yeah, I hadn't heard it that way. That must be the living version. Is that right?
And we found out that the way the Lord does things is not always as the crow flies.
Truly, truly. You never even got into Lebanon, did you?
No, I had known for months that I was to go, and I thought that the purpose was to go directly to the children's home. The Lord had been stirring my heart for some time about the isolation of our missionaries. And when Barbara Robinson came here this past year, she had not seen her mom in 10 years. Mm-hmm. And she's pretty much cut off from all family and friends and does not have a church family there to even take the place of family and friends.
Yeah.
And there's shelling and fighting, and it's just a real stressful place to live. And we wanted to go there and to be a friend to her and just visit with her. Mm-hmm. And also it was very much on our heart to get more information for this film project that we're working on, and to know firsthand what it's like to live in a place where 35 people share one bathroom, and where you take the meat and you chop it up real fine and add lots of rice to spread it around, because we're so blessed in this country we can't even relate to that. And I wanted to go live there just a while to see what it was like. Mm-hmm. When I first started thinking about that, the thought scared me to death. Because I knew that last year they had to evacuate 500,000 people from around her. And in the paper you read almost every week where an Israeli soldier or someone is killed. Mm-hmm. But I told myself that surely that if she could live there 11 years, I could go for a short while. But the Lord had other ways of us being a friend to her, and He had other ways of bringing us unique information about this film project.
Okay, now let's go back just for those people that may not have been able to see Barbara on the show when she was here, and I guess it's been a little over a year now, hasn't it?
Yes.
But for those of you that have not seen Laverne on the show before, she did go over, or she did bring over a lady called Barbara Robinson, and she had started this children's home, and with her husband, and her husband was murdered by some political factions over there.
Yes.
So this is quite a film-worthy story, and you have started a script.
Yes. I can't remember the year, 1983, the Robinsons sold their home and all their belongings, went to a country they had never been to before, with their 4 children, and without enough money to have a return ticket home. And they went there and they started a children's home. And after they had been there for 3 years, gunmen came in when they were gathered together singing hymns and took him out, and they ordered her to continue singing. And so she was singing, "In the sweet by and by, we shall meet on that beautiful shore." And that was the parting refrain between she and her husband. She thought perhaps they had taken him to kidnap him, but actually they took him down the hall and killed him. He was found by his oldest son, his only son. And so Barbara wrote, "It's been 40 days since Bill was killed, and our God is the same, and our calling is the same." And they stayed there. And I think that a God who can carry them through what I know of their life, can carry any of us through anything we have in our life. And that's the reason for telling this story, is so that people who don't know him will see that they should know him, and that people who do know him will trust him more.
Well, and I've been so privileged to know you, Laverne, and to know some of the things that have gone on through this, not just what you've told on the air. There's just miracle after miracle. I mean,
Yes.
real obvious
Yes.
things that the
Yes.
Lord has shown. When you got over there and could not get over the border, you contacted us, and
Yes.
we tried to get you in with
A
some
press pass.
kind of press
A
pass.
press pass, and thank you very much.
Well, there were several people that were trying to help
Oh,
you.
yes. Our pastor was helping us through his brother-in-law, Congressman Bob Clements. Thank the Lord for the help and friends and the prayers. We needed those prayers. And Norma Crow, the Lord just blessed me so much by having her go. And Norma is a former Tennessee state senator, and she was working through her friends. And they really, everybody worked to try to get us there to be with Barbara. It's very important that we make every effort to be with our missionaries, because we cannot imagine the path that they walk unless you get to know them. And they have died to self to such a degree that they won't tell you their plight in life. If they speak at your church, you won't hear very much unless someone is very adept at drawing them out, because they don't talk about their hardships and their sufferings. And so we need to be very sensitive to them and to try to help them, because that's the very heartbeat of God. The people who have given up everything to go do what the Lord did, we should honor the Lord by ministering to those people. And I want to thank everybody who had a part. And there were many, many people praying, and many people making calls and trying to do things. The Lord did bring us to a place of being able to minister to a part of the children's home in a miraculous way. And that is, we had gone one evening to the Feast of Tabernacles, which is in the desert at Qumran. There were about 4,000 people there from 80 different nations. It was very, very, very hot. And we went into a place and got something cold to drink. And a lady it was just elbow to elbow in this place. And a lady next to me glanced down at my name tag and said, do you go to Christ Church? And I said, well, yes, I do. Do you? I just couldn't think about who would know about Christ Church from any of these different nations. She was from England. And she said, well, I thought I recognized your name as a friend of Barbara Robinson's.
In a crowd of 4,000 people.
Yeah, and she had to be close enough to me to see my name tag. And she had to have noticed my name tag. And so I said, well, I am. Who are you? And she said, I'm Rachel Meakin, and for 3 years I worked as a volunteer in the children's home. Now, this woman was from England and going to China to serve as a missionary. And the Lord brought us together, and so for a week we were able to fellowship together and pray together. And she sent me 3 years of her letters that she had written from the children's home. And she's sending me excerpts from her diary. And you know, if there's different people reporting on the same incident, you get different aspects of the story.
Yes.
So we got fuller information and more information. And one of the most touching things that she said to me was that, you know, if Bill Robinson had been a hired shepherd and the threats started coming, he would have fled. But he wasn't a hired shepherd. He didn't go there for the money. He went there for the call of God. And he stayed and he stood. And his faith is a great testimony because of the strength that God is able to give us to stand even in the face of death, and then to take his wife and his family and help them to carry on.
Now the Lord has allowed you to write a script. I know we've
Yes.
been through this for the last
Yes.
year, that
Yes.
you really thought somebody else might be going
Yes.
to write this.
Yes.
And finally decided the Lord wanted you to put your hand to it.
Yes.
And I've read it. I was very privileged to read it, and it is wonderful.
Thank you, Susan.
And I know you've made contacts all the way to Charlton Heston on this
Yes.
thing. Where are you now?
Waiting on the Lord. And I would ask anyone whose heart is touched by hearing about this ministry to pray and to help in any other way they might see fit. We are entering into Satan's domain. He has such tremendous influence in this country through the media.
Mm-hmm.
I heard Joycelyn Elders say recently that someone in the media came to her and said he could have more influence in 30 seconds than she could have during her entire administration. Mm-hmm. And so Christians need to be in that arena. And Satan does not want us in that arena.
Right.
And it's going to take tremendous power through prayer. Tremendous power through prayer. God will grant us that power, and He will make the way, and He will bring all this together. And January of this year, the Lord told me that He'd put a pillar of fire in my heart and in my mind about this project, and I didn't have to know all the answers, but He would just stick close to Him, and He would take care of it. And so we're waiting for Him to show us the next move, and we're trusting and knowing that it's His work and that He will do it and accomplish it.
Well, I've been privileged to see how you've just worked through this whole thing just to get Barbara's and Bill's story on tape, on film. And, you know, we watch these ABC movies, so the movie of the week and that kind of thing, and they're so often about violence or killing babies or ladies that have gone berserk and whatever, you know.
Things that bring you down.
Obsessive things. And this kind of a story, like a Christie. We need more of that kind of thing on television. If I could live long enough to produce that kind of television, dramatic, wonderful, uplifting television, what a wonderful thing for me. But I'll take this and be happy with it for the time being. I want to show this beautiful face of a lady who has known tragedy and knows Christ better. Can you see this? This is Barbara Robinson. We stand around and I worry about a bad hair day. And this lady combs her hair back in the morning if she has time, and hauls into the day with 30-some people. And these are not just children, are they?
No, the elderly also.
Yes. I want to do this on this camera if we can. I want to do this on the side camera, and I'll see if I can hold it as still as I can. These are some of the children. And can you get that? They're working on it. Okay. I'm so glad that you're here today talking about this, and that the Arabs didn't get you or somebody over there. Yeah, that was quite a trip, wasn't it?
Yes, it was wonderful. One of the blessings in the trip was going to Christ Church in Jerusalem. Christ Church in Jerusalem was founded in the 1840s by people who knew Bible prophecy and who knew that before Jesus returned that the Jews would come back to the land. And so they founded Christ Church to be a part of the society and to minister to the Jewish people who would come to know Jesus as their Messiah. And so we went there and we took communion with them and found that Barbara's volunteer, Rachel, had worked at Christ Church before she worked with Barbara.
Over there.
And that's where they had met each other. And it was like the Lord was just taking us to see and meet people and to places that would be a part of this film when we did not know where we were going or what we were doing, but we were just there in obedience. And Jana Jackson sings a song that says, "Faith moves God," and about stepping out on nothing and landing on something. And we just stepped out in sheer faith, and the Lord just blessed us and surprised us. And I've got to confess that I struggled a great deal because I was single-minded. I
wanted to get there.
I wanted to see Barbara.
Yeah.
I love Barbara as a sister in Christ, and She's been a blessing to me, and I wanted to see her and be a blessing to her. And a friend asked me, would you have spent the money to go see a stranger, meaning Rachel? And I said, I don't know. But the Lord did want us to meet Rachel and to go to Christ Church in Jerusalem and learn some of the other things related to the story.
Okay. We have so little time here. He's just telling me we have about a minute if we're going to get to that Pledge Allegiance
Yes.
song. But I am more interested right now. If we'll go out on a little of that and maybe roll some credits over it. But I want you to tell us one more thing. And this was when you got back, you had your church pray about your business because you've dropped your real
Yes.
estate in
Yes.
the last year or so to write this script.
Yes.
And you started praying. What was the outcome of
Well, October the 24th was the one-year anniversary of the date the Lord called me to do this. And we'd returned from the trip, and I'd been out of circulation for a while, and I'd spent quite a bit of money. And I was just really unhappy with the progress that had been made and with where I was with my business. And I was just praying that the Lord would help me. And since I feel like we're waiting for Him to guide us on the next move with the script, I was praying for some real estate business. And the phone rang that day, and a woman said she was moving here from Michigan and wondered if I would have time to help her. I told her yes, I'd been to Israel and had time, and asked her how she got my name, and she was referred through a Christian, actually through our church. She'd gotten a list of realtors from our church, and I was the first one she called in. And so she said, well, I'll bring Israeli music, and we'll listen to Israeli music between properties. And the Israeli music was from the church I went to Israel with in 1982. So the Lord just went there, and blessed me soundly and thoroughly. Praise the Lord.
We'll see how the Lord works. Oh my goodness,
Yes.
He works around you so strong. Well, we've got to get out of this, and we do ask you to get out and vote today and
Yes.
pledge your heart to Jesus Christ. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.